so well to will till the world be done, dying down to make marble with love and choice mean to me bamboo. What will live in the bank and the world living so well.
That was a lot of intro. Sorry, I was waiting for it to kick in. Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah.
I think actually it's not even afternoon yet. Good 11:40, everyone.
From Colorado here at First Dibs podcast from inside Porsche Colorado Springs. I'm Justin.
I'm John.
And we have some super cool, very interesting guests today. Kind of a surprise a little bit, really, but we have Christian and Orchin.
Welcome.
Did I get that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. So these two are over from Europe on Twins GT3RS Twins.Tour, number 2?
Yes.
So yeah, they've got a pair of 997.2 GT3RSs, and they're driving them all over the U.S.
Not this time.
No,
That
was last time.
They've got the 997 GT3RS.
Okay.
And they have a Speedster.
Oh, I was wondering what that
That's
was.
right.
Is that what was it? It's not. Is it signal green?
No, it's jade green.
Oh, it's really pretty. I only saw it from a reflection from my desk, and it's downhill. So, pardon me if my colors are a little off.
Yeah.
But that's awesome.
And not
very cool.
just from Europe. You're from Leipzig.
Yes.
That's correct. Which, for people listening or may not be super familiar with Leipzig, that's the Porsche building that's like a giant funnel, right? That's where Cayennes come out of, and they have a track there.
We have an experience center now.
Experience center
We have
now.
the factory of the Macan, of the Panamera.
Okay.
And I think the best way, we built the Carrera GT in Leipzig.
Right. That's right. Exactly.
Very cool.
I think
Most of your customers must know Leipzig.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then do they still have cows roaming around?
Yes, we have many cows, we have bees, we have horses.
That's right. We got the honey from you last time.
right.
Yeah. That's fantastic. And then and so I'm sorry, but tell us your affiliation with Leipzig and Porsche.
It's an easy story. I'm a member of the Porsche Club Leipzig, and we drive Porsche. And so we have, our first contact to the factory was we were looking for an experience. But what can you do with a Porsche? So we met very friendly people at Porsche Leipzig. We met Jens, our best friend now, I think.
Okay.
And the story goes on. First racetrack event, first off-road event. And now I say to all people, it's my factory. It's my racetrack. It's my experience center. And I think it's easy. Well, we live Porsche. Otto and I, we live the Porsche idea. We drove our cars. And this is the story behind this. And once a time, we said we must drove to the United States.
That's awesome. So when the last time you were here, was it 3 years ago? I don't even remember.
2 years ago.
2 years? Okay.
We started in 2020 in February in Miami for a road trip. Have to make a pit stop for 10 months due to COVID in March. And we started in 21 in January. 10 months of full driving, 18,000 miles with the two GT3RSs.
Right. Yes.
See, they're not too harsh. They're great road trip cars. A lot of people, comment, they're like, that you can't drive that on the street. Yes, you can.
You can drive it.
Absolutely can. You should. Yeah.
And you can drive 1,000 miles with a GT3RS, with a Speedster, with a full bucket seats. It's easy.
Yeah.
You go out and relaxed.
Yes. And you also know how to pack properly.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, because obviously this is not like a weekend trip.
Right.
So from the time that you started till the time that this trip is done, how much time has elapsed, and how much time will you be here before your trip is done?
That's not so much time.
Oh, okay. This one's kind of a quicker one.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. But I think you mentioned right before we got on, you started in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And drove from Fort Lauderdale to Palm Springs.
Yeah. In 2 days.
In 2 days?
In 2 days.
Were you there for a Porsche parade?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
The ship from Hamburg was delayed.
Okay,
And
right.
the paperwork was not ready, so we have to start. We couldn't start only on Friday in the noon.
Yeah.
And Porsche parades at dinner on Sunday
Yep.
was our goal. So we have to 2 days for
Oh my gosh.
2,700 miles.
Wow. That's amazing. That is amazing.
And it was very hot, up to more than 100 Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Mhm.
And the Green Spitzer doesn't have air condition.
Well,
What?
Yeah, it's a speedster.
Yeah, all right.
Everybody told us if you buy a speedster, you have to drive. You can drive without the rooftop.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
But it was too hot.
I didn't,
Right.
I didn't use it in the GT3RS because if I'm using it, then I have to go to a stop more than him to fill up.
Okay.
The gas is running out. and
Right.
he still has it, and I don't have it. So
Right.
I did not use it. That we are in same level.
That's
with
pretty
gas.
hardcore.
Yeah, that was it.
So yeah, Palm Springs in the summer.
Oh,
Yeah.
When we saw the
moly.
speedster first time 5 years ago, when they unrolled him, it was a car without a rooftop, without an air condition, without a PCM. So you cannot buy a full equipped car.
Right. Mm-hmm. Wow.
The Speedster was always the lightest car.
Yep.
And air condition, I think 20 pounds in the US.
Yeah.
You must save the
Right. Right.
You know,
weight.
That's cool.
I've got 20 pounds I'd donate, I think, before you could get me to work out by telling me you weren't going to let me have air conditioning in my car if I was going to Palm Springs. But
Wow.
that's pretty cool. So what was your entry into Porsche? Like, what was a first car memory of them or a first one that you guys owned?
Actually, I found a small little toy car in the street when I was 6 to 7 years old. And that was in the former GDR. That was the East German part of Germany. And we did not have any fancy cars, just like we had the Wartburg and Trabant. And I found this car in the street on a sandy hill. I took it home and I said to my mother, "Oh, this is a nice car. I'm going to buy one if I'm bad, if I'm an adult, I buy one." And my mother told me, "No, you will never buy this car. This is a Western Germany car.
Yeah.
You cannot buy. We are not get these cars." And I did not understand at this time. And I told her, "Oh, sure, I will buy this car." And my mother, no. And since then, I kept this car in my mind, and I always wanted to have one. And after the change, of course, I had to work a little bit for it. But then in 2003, I think, I bought my first. That was a 996 4S.
Awesome.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's a way better answer than we've had before. Right. That's really because Leipzig is in old East Germany, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. My geography of Europe is horrible, and is that where you grew up in
Yes,
Leipzig?
Me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Christian, how about you?
I grew up in Bavaria, in the western part, and so it was easy. We grew up with in the 70s with the Porsche, with the G model, with the turbo, with all the beautiful racing cars.
Yeah.
Right.
But I changed sometimes a little bit to Audi. It was nearby my hometown,
Yeah.
and Quattro was very great. And I think 24 I changed to Porsche because it was always a dream.
Yeah.
It's a dream car. Once in a life you have to drive a Porsche.
Yeah, we're pretty spoiled that we get to do it every day, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Favorite drives you've done?
For me, the Pikes Peak.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I always say I'm Generation Walter Röhrl. We know him in person. Walter drove both of our twins, the white and the blue one, on the racetrack. Walter on the driver's side, we on the co-driver's side.
Yeah.
It was a great experience,
I
and
bet.
because in the 80s he drove in 10 minutes to the Pikes Peak
Right.
on an unpaved road.
Yeah.
So it's always
Was
I
that
think
in one
it's-
of the Audi Sport Quattros?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
the S1. So it was a famous drive for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were just talking with Lee Keen yesterday about a little bit about that and just how, here in Colorado Springs, I think people don't really, know how important that mountain is. And I think the further you get away from us, almost the more important it gets. When we had a younger gentleman here, he flew in from Japan just to see the race, by himself. He's just
Right.
here hanging out, and I just love that, and the kind of the spirit of the mountain and everything like that is really cool. So, yeah, I like that mountain too. But
I think it's always the same. We don't know our hometown. You don't know all the beautiful places, but we know the places in the South
right.
Sea and the Caribbean Sea
Yep.
in the United States.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we live near a lake at home, and we never go for swim in that lake.
Right.
Last year, not
Yeah.
even one time.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yep.
like people do.
Yeah, yeah, I understand that. Just very recently, explaining to someone that going to a resort town here, Vail, Keystone, Beaver Creek, something like that. It's always really fun to go there, but I never do, right? And then I feel bad when I get there because I think this is right in my backyard, and I never come out
Right.
here. But maybe it's kind of a special treat, even when it's in the backyard. So. But you're exactly right. Yeah, when it's right next door, should be able to utilize it more. Yeah, and then the hill climb being such a large, international event. And this is, you guys are so perfect, like being here and talking to us for it, just because it explains that even in detail, right? How far people come just to see this race. So
I heard about the hill climb race, I think 5-6 weeks ago. We had our reservation for the Porsche parade for 1 week because the Porsche parade is from Sunday to Sunday, and so we thought about how we can change our booking for Porsche parade because we are both PCA members. You think, you cannot say goodbye on Thursday, but we have to do it.
We did it.
We did it.
we did.
Yeah, for that reason.
And also on 101st hill climb race, we must be a part of the race.
Right,
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yep.
And were you here last time for hill climb? I don't remember.
No,
Okay, great.
We have to go back 2 weeks before the
Okay.
race.
So this will be your
our
first time up watching
Yes,
the race?
right,
Oh,
yes.
cool.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's just like it's camping up on a hill watching race cars is what it feels like to me. It's just very out in nature. So do you know where you want to watch the race from?
From your shop? No.
Oh, the pits?
The pit
From the
stop.
pits.
Okay,
from
good.
the
Yeah,
pit lane.
that's what I'd recommend. It's
Right.
it's the most fun down there,
Yeah.
as far as I can tell.
Joe told us you'll be a part of our pit
Yeah.
crew.
Yep.
Cool.
Now we can
Oh, you're
change.
part of the crew.
Yes, we changed the tires
Oh,
from Jeff
boy.
and
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's how you're going to stay warm in the morning.
Okay.
Is by lifting heavy tires. Which actually, so John, real quick, I've actually never been to the race. Right, I get so much of it here at the dealership. The whole month leading up to it. That by the time the race happens, I think I've already seen everything. Right, but I'm going this year because I've invited a lot of people, and there's a lot of excitement going around. So I don't know if John could give us maybe a quick tutorial on things to plan for. Like, John, what time are you going to get there?
We're going to leave our house, I think, at 3:45, which
Okay.
probably puts us in line between 4:15 and 4:30
In line for
to get up the hill
for
to
parking.
park. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
To the lane of the cars, waiting for.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. I think I don't think I need to go earlier than that. I think that should be. We went even a little later last year, and it was fine. We got parking spots and stuff like that. You drive up the mountain to where the reservoir is, and that's kind of where they have most of the cars park. So if you're driving up in the RS or the Speedster, it's a dirt parking lot. So just kind of be prepared for that. And if you see, if you're getting close to where the reservoir is and you find a spot that's on the street, maybe just park there so you don't have to worry about the dirt, because it can get kind of soft and muddy and gravelly and stuff like that. What we're going to do is drive all the way up to until they tell us to stop, and then unload all of we'll bring coolers and camp chairs and all kinds of stuff. And so we'll unload that, leave our people, and then just go park the cars. But and then from there, just wander around. I think it's really fun because it's a very just friendly area. I went to a Formula One race and they have everything roped off and you can't get close to anything. And but with the hill climb, you can like walk in and out of people's pits basically, and touch the cars. One year they had there was a driver that was having kids sign his car. So you can get right up on them, talk to everybody, which I think is really fun. And then the cars launch and then there's a timing loop that they go through. So they don't it's not you have to launch and then the time starts. They kind of get a run up, but you can hike up into the woods a little bit past that and then see a couple turns and things like that. But it's just kind of a fun circus woods atmosphere.
Right. Then, but the lower parking lot, from what I understand, when it fills up, they make you drive further up the hill. Is that right?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Further down.
Have to go
further down into the dirt. Yeah.
Because, I guess I've heard that there's people that want to be in the pits area, but if they get there too late, they're not going to have that choice. That they would have to climb up. Maybe that's back. I don't know.
I think that's backwards. Like
maybe the people that want
Devils,
to go up.
Yeah, up at Devils that fills up, and then the mid area fills up. I think the lower is the last to fill.
Right.
I think. But
and then are there still buses that take people to and from the parking lot?
Yeah. If from the top of the parking lot, it's 0.8 of a mile to get up to where the kind of the pit area is. There are shuttle buses that run you up and back. So. Bring water.
Yeah. I mean, like a mile hike uphill at 3 a.m. does not sound super fantastic.
But when it's really fun is when you're towing coolers and camp chairs.
Well, that's me tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me. And like 5 kids.
Yep.
So maybe I won't have to grab anything.
Put them to work.
Yeah, the 2 little ones, you team together. You grab a big cooler. See what we can do.
Yeah, but it'll be fun. We'll show you all the fancy spots to look, which you could find on your own, but I'll take credit for them. So yeah, what else do you guys have planned for this trip?
Oh, we go on Monday. We will drive to the Pikes Peak by our own with the 2 cars. On Tuesday to the Mount Evans, so we have the highest roads in our bucket list.
Yeah.
And Wednesday we go to Aspen and then to Arches Park to the national parks to drive to the Rocky Mountains.
Cool.
For the next 2 weeks. And then we have to go a little bit home for working. But we will be back for a works reunion in Monterey and for Spot 7.
Oh, cool. Nice. Okay.
Very cool. I can't say it on the air. Yeah, I have a secret. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll talk off.
Does it have anything to do with Porsche?
Yeah, it does. It does. But
or just some random secret.
Just a random secret. I have a secret. Nobody can know about it. Ha ha ha. Have you been to Monterey before?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
In 21, we was at the Ranchbot. No, not Ranchbot, Works Reunion.
Okay, great. Yeah. We're working on a 356 that we're supposed to debut there.
Yep.
For Ranchbot.
For Works.
Yeah, and if it does well enough, it will go to Rennsport.
Yeah.
But a 59 356A. It's a super cool car. I mean, a lot of fun. But we entered in the restoration class this year. So metal work is done. It's at our body shop. Having the paint part of it done, and then we have one of our classic technicians here. We'll get to reassemble the car when it comes back from the body shop. So it's kind of cool. It's pretty exciting. It was a really fun, neat car. When we first got it, and then just decided this one deserves to be restored. So we're gonna bring it back to its glory from when it was new. So
I saw your pictures on Instagram.
That's
It's a great story.
It is a cool story. And hopefully, I think what I'll do is that last year we had to actually write a story about the car that we did, which we did a 2003 911 Turbo, which was more in like the kind of the preservation, type class it would have been. So writing that story was fun because that car actually did have a pretty cool, interesting story as far as the ownership history, things like that. And then it's a continuation with this car of its ownership history and how we acquired it. It's a pretty beautiful story, actually. And that's, for these classic cars,
it's a lot of it.
That's a lot of it, right? Orchard, you mentioned you were actually wanting to bring a air-cooled classic car this year.
Yeah.
What are you having restored?
I had a 930 Targa.
Oh, wow. Okay.
88 from 88.
One of the 300.
Wow. Holy
cool.
moly.
And one of the 40 was a G50.
Holy moly. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not done yet. So I
Yep.
could not take it.
It's a special project from Porsche Classic as an recommission project with new color, with new interior, with everything is new.
Everything
Wow.
new. Yeah.
Wow.
Was,
So what color did you pick? Can we know, or is it a surprise?
oh, we can know it. You cannot see it.
Yeah, this is Amazonas green metallic
Oh, that is awesome.
with lemon yellow seats.
No, that is
Wow.
so cool. That sounds amazing.
That does sound cool.
Yeah, we had a 964 Speedster.
Speedster.
Yeah, in Amazon green metallic here, black interior. But what a gorgeous color! That is such a cool color.
Yep.
That's it.
Well,
And
that's
the
a win.
special project, that's Porsche Classic with Sonderwunsch and Exklusiv.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yep. Well, there you go.
So next time when we come, 24, 25.
Yeah,
Oh, please.
right.
Maybe you
Next
can
time.
see it.
Please.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Those guys do just incredible work. Like the
Amazing.
Club Coupe they did for the Porsche Club of America. That thing looks amazing. Seinfeld just bought it.
Yeah.
What was it, like 1.3 million, I think?
Yeah.
Yes.
Was the hammer price somewhere in there. And just, I love that this company does that. That they'll work and do a full restoration at the factory and like you say, recommission it so it becomes your car and
Right.
you're giving it new life and,
Yeah.
and a rebirth. And what a cool car to work on there.
Yeah, right.
We saw our first recommission project. We saw it in Monterey with the Carrera GT.
Yep.
They made
Yeah, the
it
oak
for
green one.
a recommission project. I never know this before, and so the idea was born. The car for
Yeah.
my wife. She always told me the car must go to Porsche to get a new
Yeah.
car,
Yep.
and they make everything possible. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
they need time, and they always told us we need 2 years.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we said you have 1 year and 3 months. We go to the US. It was not
Yeah.
possible. It
No,
was
it wasn't
a new paint, a new color,
Right. Yeah.
new seats. Everything
Yeah,
will
that's
be
a
new.
big project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did you find the car?
Oh, we find
We have in Germany we have an online platform like you bring a
Yeah.
trailer.
Okay.
We know it as mobile.de,
Okay.
and the car was
Wow.
sometimes I saw a picture, and Ortron is I met Ortron 13 years before, and they always told me once in a life I need 930 turbo Targa.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
it
Right.
was easy for me. We have to look. They built 300,
Right, right.
300 cars.
Yeah.
This is another story. The first Porsche I drove with was a 930, right after the change. And yeah, I always ask the owner if I can drive by myself, but he always said, no, you can't. This car needs a special feeling in the right foot and whatever. And I told myself, then I buy one by myself. You
Yeah.
don't have to. So that's what I told him one day. And since this day, he was looking for a 930 for me, but I didn't ask him to do this. But he always was looking for it. And one day he sent me a picture, I think, and I wrote him, I fell in love. And he thought, oh, I have to move out. But
Right. That is funny.
That's
That's
the
incredible.
original car from the US.
Okay.
Was re-imported from a German boy.
Okay.
We don't need the car.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Good luck. Lucky for us.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's awesome.
That's really cool.
yeah. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And obviously, this will land on your Instagram page when it's.
When it is ready, yes. But
Yeah.
before we make our road trip, driven by dreams.
Yeah. Yeah.
actually, we visit this car from time to time. So we saw the paint shop. They painted by hand
Yeah.
at the factory. So we could attend this. And
Wow.
So
You
is
get
it in
to-
Leipzig with you, or is it back in
Is
Zuffenhausen?
Is it in Zuffenhausen and Asberg?
Okay.
It's near Zuffenhausen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we travel there sometimes and we visit the car.
You got to watch them paint it?
Yes, right.
Holy
Yes.
cow.
Yeah.
Porsche make everything possible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
I
They,
guess so.
they
Yeah.
That's
made
amazing.
a special event for us the
Right.
whole day. Yeah.
Was it drivable before you sent it to Porsche?
Yes. Yes.
Did you drive it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. What a
It is a Porsche.
Yeah.
Right.
You can drive a Porsche every time.
That's right.
It's
mostly true. Mostly true. We had a what was it? A 72 911T that had sat in a field for probably 20 years.
Right.
And it was sunk down in the mud, and the tires were old and dry rotted, and the water had found its way inside. But when we got it back here and flushed the brakes, put new brake pads on it, did an oil change and a new battery, and it started, and we could drive it.
Right.
So you're right.
Yeah.
They do a really nice job, but that's really cool.
That's super cool. What's the time frame as far as it completion? Do they have a?
The car will be finished in October.
Okay.
But it was really too late for Rennsport.
Sure.
We thought about to fly the car to the US, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
make no sense. We have 2 cars here. A third car make no sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have to. Change the cars from the Targa to the white GT3RS.
Sure. Oh, very cool. That'll be awesome. On the Porsche Classic side, is it Alexander Fabig? Do you know him? Does that name sound
Not in
familiar?
person. We know Dr. Donnevert
Okay, that's
and Uwe Makrutzki.
oh well, okay.
And-
So, in the Porsche Classic side, that's a big name. So yeah, you're dealing with the right people.
They told us the right people.
Right, right.
No, it's very great.
Yeah, and some of the technicians that are in the Classic shop. So I guess just real quick, I got to go to the facility that your car is being built in. I got to go there when just shortly after they moved into that facility. Actually, the Carrera GT that you mentioned, that was just beginning the teardown process when I got to tour that facility. And but they pointed out there's a couple of technicians working there that they were assembling those transmissions new. That's how long they've been with Porsche. And so who better to, rebuild your G50 transmission than the guy that was assembling it when it was brand new. So they obviously know them, and just the idea that you can send that stuff to them. Right. And they'll redo it, for you. It's a fascinating program.
Yeah. What was the process like? Did you know you wanted it Amazon green with lemon yellow from day one, or did you kind of go work with their design team and kind of figure that out?
No, I just knew that I want this, but to find it was a little bit difficult because the leather is not an official color of Porsche right now. They don't have it, so we were looking for it where we can get it from. We found it at another brand, but it's in the same concern,
Okay.
the same
Yeah.
whole thing with Porsche.
Yeah.
So they changed it. They got it from
So you're getting
there.
Bugatti leather?
No.
Yeah,
It's an Italian leather.
it's an Italian brand.
Very cool. Yeah.
Now they called it 930 yellow.
Yeah.
930 yellow.
Wow.
It's a top secret.
That's tough.
Yeah.
We told it
It-
after the interview.
Yeah. You heard it here first.
I think the configuration is similar to a new car.
Yeah.
When I come to you, to a salesman, and said, I need a 911, whatever, with a special color, you say, please come with me. You show me PTS
Yeah.
colors. You show me all the specs I can get. And it's similar to an old car restoration.
Right.
Yeah, but a little bit more difficult.
It's more possible. Now, actually, you can choose between 110 paint to sample colors.
Yep.
Right.
And at classic restoration, they make everything possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can use every old color. They test it and say yes, make it.
Yeah.
And the same at the interior. You get every color,
Wow.
every stitching.
Wow. That's awesome.
My mind is just
Oh my gosh.
Spinning right
Oh
now.
my gosh. Yeah, for sure.
I think in the future you can see a lot of Carrera GTs recommissioned in the United States. We saw a few very beautiful cars.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be a wild process to walk through. And but when you say when everything is possible, it's a pretty daunting task. I mean, at least you knew, what you wanted to do going into it.
yeah, or even just the car.
Right.
Like I don't know what car I would pick if I had the opportunity to do something like that. There are just so many great ones.
And I believe they were
Yeah.
gonna, they were I don't know if it started, but they were going to do a process where you could apply to do a completely one-off car, like a car that never existed.
Yes, you can make I think they call it, first call it a Sonderwunsch, but you can do your own car. You have an idea, you have a 997, would like to make it to a 991,
Right.
whatever.
Yep.
Yep.
We know an Italian customer who made his own Porsche.
Wow.
I think it's a great idea,
Right. Yeah.
and they make it possible. You have the whole design designers behind you, nearby you.
Yep. Yep. Wow. That'll be cool. I mean, it's neat that you're able to document it, right, with your Instagram, all that kind of stuff, and share your experience and story with people. So
They also document it. They make pictures from time to time, and at the end you get a book about all the process,
right.
what they did.
That's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah, but I think when you drive your first Porsche, you go to the second, and your wishes are always will be greater and greater, and
More specialized,
Yeah,
and
you
more
specialize.
different
Yeah.
from the other ones.
Right.
your first
Yeah.
Porsche, when your first Porsche comes from a dealership, it stands in the shop and say, "Here's my money. I get the car.
Yep.
Your next, maybe can I change the color, the tires?"
Right.
And so you grow up with your Porsche life. I think you develop your own Porsche lifestyle. We saw it with our Speedster. We drove before the 997 GT3RS. Next time we say, "Oh, what car will become next?" Turbo Targa. They don't buy a 991 Turbo Targa. GT3RS, GT2RS, and then the Speedster comes, and you think about, do you need a heritage package? No, they build 50% of the cars with your heritage package, not the car for your own.
Yep.
So you think about paint to sample. It's hard to get a paint to sample, but it must be a paint to sample.
Right.
And you think about which color, green, yellow, blue. You have 100 options.
Yeah. Right.
You have to change the rims, the stitchings, and the next level is all be higher.
Right. John's always said this thing. His favorite Porsche is the last one he drove.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which that just kind of leads me into kind of a random question, but we get asked the question all the time. If you could only choose one, what would you put in your garage?
Easy answer. GT2RS 992. Next one.
Yeah.
Oh, the next
The newest
one.
is always the best. Yeah.
The newest, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yep. Mm-hmm.
In a crazy paint to sample color.
Have you seen it yet?
No.
Are you sure?
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is it a hybrid?
Oh, I think it's a hybrid.
I think it's a hybrid too.
It's not 700 horsepower. You cannot put more in a car without hybrid.
Yeah.
But I think it's next goal for my wife.
Yeah.
And Porsche knows this.
That's good. Yeah.
They are looking for an extra allocation for the car.
Right. And Ortrin, if you could only have one.
Very difficult. I think then I would take the 930.
Uh-huh.
And yeah,
It sounds like, I mean, that's kind of where it all started,
yes.
right? Mm-hmm. Yep.
But
Yeah.
very difficult. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. My first true love with Porsche was a 1979 911 SC. And it happened to be an experience that I was going to school. I went to a technical school for Porsche. And anyway, but so this student, classmate had one. And that's the first time that I grew up in Wyoming, and Wyoming is the least populated state, right? So I used to tell people, or I still tell people, we never saw Porsche cars, much less knew how to spell it, right? So growing up in Wyoming and then going to technical schools, and then the first real experience in a 911 was a 79 SC. I mean, holy cow, right? And so to this day, that's, well, besides a Carrera GT, but for me, a 79 SC, that's where my heart totally falls, is for that car. So
I think always about the high performed Porsche cars. I think it's easy, it's always the same. It's easy to drive a very low spec car. It must be your own car. You must go to the garage and smile and say, "Wow, it's my Porsche." I think that's the important way and the best way to drive your Porsche.
Yep.
And you can drive an old car, a dirt car, a Porsche from the 70s, for the 19s. If it's your Porsche, you have fun with your car. I think that's the best way.
absolutely, you should be excited, When you go into your garage, you should be excited.
Yeah, right.
At this time, not so, but
Right.
we have not so many Porsche in the garage. They are in the United States.
Right. That's pretty fun.
Very, very cool.
Yeah. Well, what else you got, John?
You guys do track stuff? Race car driving?
Oh, in Germany, in Europe, we would sometimes once or twice in the year we drive it on a racetrack.
Okay.
The RS.
Leipzig or Nürburgring?
In Leipzig, and we have nearby us in the Czech Republic, in Most on racetrack.
Yeah.
And we have the Sachsenring. It's a very similar to the Nordschleife in the western part. It's our Nordschleife in the eastern part.
Would you ever want to do the Pikes Peak Hill Climb race?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, us too.
Right. Right. Yeah. We have a car.
It's, which one?
Well, you might be able to have your pick.
I think it's. I think you have to 10 years practice to drive to race a hill climb race.
It must take a little bit of something for sure.
I think it's easy to drive on a racetrack. You have 10 to 20 curves. It's easy to remember this. You see this point you have to brake. This point you have to go to the throttle. But on the Pikes Peak, it's very difficult to see your points
Yes.
for attention for braking.
Yes. Well, Pikes Peak has 156 turns. Is that right?
Sure.
It is.
Sounds accurate.
Yeah, it's 12.2 miles. 12. I should know this.
12.4.
12.4 miles, 156 turns. The summit is 14,115 feet, something like that.
Yep.
Which, from what I've heard, other than the elevation change, but the amount of turns would be similar to Nürburgring. How many turns are at Nürburgring?
I don't know.
It's got to be. It's got to be way up there.
142.
It's 13 miles long, roughly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's got to be close, right? And they say that track is you can't memorize that track.
I think people memorize
I'm
that
sure
track.
there's a few.
When you have 10 years practice,
I think-
you know
right.
it.
Some
Yes.
people
Yeah.
are pretty good at that.
Yeah, because who's setting the speed records with Porsche right now? Burgmeister.
Yeah. Jorg.
Jorg. Yeah, Jorg. Mm-hmm. He probably knows
probably
it pretty well.
I mean, did you see the 919 Evo driving
my
on
goodness.
that?
Yes.
I mean, that thing,
Yeah.
it doesn't even look real.
Right.
It's, yeah, you have to know what you're
Yeah.
doing. You can't just
Well, and
you
we
can't
were
just guess what turn is coming up next.
Yeah.
You have to know everything about
right.
that. Yeah.
And was it before the show? We were kind of joking around how Lee went on a ride with Jeff Zwart, his coaching. And Jeff had pointed out, he said, well, you got to look for this triangle rock. Lee says, what are you talking about, triangle rock, right?
Yeah.
There's a million rocks out here. Well, no, this one's shaped like a triangle. You got to look for the triangle. Oh, okay. That's different, right? That's a different kind of marker than aiming for a piece of guardrail, or whatever it might be. So
I think the next for the Nürburgring is Mission X, the fastest race car on the street legal race car.
right.
I can't wait to see that thing.
Oh my gosh.
Have you guys driven Taycan much? Yeah.
Not much, but we tried.
Yeah.
We drove it in Portugal in Portimao on the racetrack.
Nice.
It's like it's a feeling like a go-kart.
Right.
It's so
But-
weird. Yeah. I
On
love
the-
it. But
on the other day we drove the GT3RS. It was better. You have
sure.
you hear the
Yeah.
sound. You feel the car another way.
Right.
The Taycan is I think I always say it's only fast. It's very fast, but you don't feel the car.
yeah, there's a different thing going on. I've been kind of trying to get my brain around the new Cayman and Boxster that are going to be all electric. And, what I'm trying to equate it in my head to is sailing, where, it's fun to be out on a speedboat and hear the motor and be crashing over waves and stuff. But it's also really kind of exciting to just have that silent power behind you. So I'm hoping that, an open top Boxster with 400 horsepower is going to be just something that's, like just going out for a nice sail. But very different experiences.
Different.
You hear and feel the nature, the landscape in another way.
Yeah, exactly. So that, before Taycan came out, I was really dreading the future going all electric. You know, it didn't seem like there was going to be a place for enthusiasts. You know, the original Tesla Roadster, you know, it was a cool little party trick, but it didn't seem like a sports car you'd really want to go drive. You'd have to plug it in all the time and it takes forever to charge and it'll overheat and things like that. But then driving the Taycan was the first time I kind of felt, you know, it was a Porsche. It felt like a Porsche, and it wasn't a 911. It wasn't a Panamera. It was its own thing. But I enjoyed it and it was exciting to me.
First time the Cayenne, everybody said, a Cayenne, it's an SUV. It cannot be a Porsche, but it's a race car.
Yeah, right. I saw a picture on from one of our buddies on Instagram, and he had pulled like 1.2 Gs in acceleration and 1.3 Gs in braking in his Carrera GTS, but only 0.8 in the turns. And I sent him a picture of me and my Cayenne hybrid. And I had he was fat. He was better at braking and accelerating, but I had the cornering down on him. So I was trying to tell him, you know, like, look, buddy, you got to step that up a little bit.
Yeah, step out of your comfort zone.
It's crazy how you know there's more to a car than just the performance and the numbers. But when you know a 6,000 pound SUV can do that kind of dance, you know, it's pretty impressive.
Extremely impressive.
And it was important for the brand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Without with only a 911, you have no future as a brand. You need a whole family.
Yeah, they were oddly. I feel like Porsche is not usually the first one to do something in terms of coming to market. But you look at a lot of the other sports car brands, and now Lotus is going to have an electric SUV. Lamborghini has one. Aston Martin has one. Bentley has one, and Ferrari now is going to have one as well. So Porsche was actually, you know, kind of they had their thinking caps on when they popped up the Cayenne, and I agree. It really, you know, because that was so successful is what makes your Speedster possible, right? So
Without the Cayenne, no Speedster.
I think that's pretty true.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And they built 540 Macan and Panamera in Leipzig. It's more than twice of the 911 and Boxsters.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
A day.
Yeah. What it took 60 years to build 1 million 911s or something like that.
Yes.
And it took 3.5 to do it with the Macan. So, smart guys. There's a reason your company's worth all the money it's worth. And
yeah, for sure.
Exactly. I knew I should have bought stock. But oh well.
Yeah, just one share.
That's pretty wild. So what made you want to do the first U.S. road trip? Was it just kind of you'd worn out all of the roads in Europe and you needed a new adventure?
No, I think 5 years ago, a friend told us he was at the Porsche parade with a rental car, with a Ford or a similar car, and he was so crazy about the people. It was a very special event for him. He comes from Germany, and he said to us, we must participate the Porsche parade with Porsche.
Sure.
I will ask Porsche in North America, maybe we can rent some cars for the participation. And I told the story my wife, and she said, oh, it's a great story, but we have to use our own cars. And so the story begins. We have to plan, I think, from 19 to 20 for the shipping, for all the paperworks, and started in 22.
Sure.
To participate in the Porsche parade.
Right. How easy or difficult is it to ship a car from Germany to the US?
To ship, it's very easy. You go to the harbor and say, I'm here. I go to the United States. Sorry. No, it's a lot of paperwork. To get a ship or a container is very easy. You can book it online, everybody. But you have, for the United States, you need a permit, a special permit, like your race cars. They come for Daytona or for presentation. And this is a very hard paperwork. You need an insurance. It's not easy for German people. They always ask you for an American address.
Right.
We are non-residentials. But if you have a friend, who have a friend, it's
Yeah.
very easy.
Right. Yeah. We got friends here.
Now we know this.
That's right.
And we come always back to you.
Yeah. Right.
So I think we've kept you guys for almost an hour. So I've got one more question. I think I've got clients that have been really wanting to do European delivery and pick up their cars, at the factory, either in Leipzig or in Zuffenhausen, Stuttgart. But with production and with timing of the cars and with limited space availability with social distancing and stuff like that, it's been really tricky. But I've had some people booking trips over to Germany where they're going to rent a Porsche and they're going to do a drive. Are there any specific routes or specific places that you would really recommend that a Porsche file see other than Leipzig and Stuttgart? Are there any kind of trips that you'd kind of say they had to do?
Most of the people go to the European Alps, to Austria, to Swiss, to Italy. I think it's similar. You must see what car, what people come and make the European delivery or the road trip. You can go to the racetracks. We have, I think, about 10 or 15 racetracks nearby Stuttgart and Leipzig. You can go to the back roads.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I think back road tour.
Oh yeah.
I think back road is the best part of it. You have
Yeah. My last time there was to Austria, and it was, the countryside's gorgeous, right? And then I'm kind of bragging about my trip to this gentleman that actually was living here in Colorado Springs and just relocated to Sweden not too long ago. He sent me or he's Switzerland. He went to Switzerland. Anyway, he sent me a photograph. And he said, "Oh, you think your trip to Austria was cool? Check this out." And oh my, it looked like I thought it was a fake image, right? He said, "No, this is what the whole countryside looks like." Just stunning. Just gorgeous.
Because Switzerland is only so big as Colorado. And when you see Colorado, you have only mountains in Colorado. So it's similar to our European countries.
Yeah, but you have to be very careful with the speed limit in Switzerland.
Yeah.
They charge you quite a lot if you are
Don't
over.
worry, I'm not worth anything. Yeah.
Switzerland is tricky.
Right. Yeah.
I have only one difference to your country.
Right.
When you go to the Alps, you have the Großglockner is 2,500 meters high. It's about 7,500 feet.
Wow.
It's very high for us Europeans.
Yep.
And here we think about 14,000 feet.
That's right.
It's crazy.
Well, where we are sitting right now is 6,000 feet even. So yeah, it's pretty different. Yeah, but yeah, that's funny.
A European delivery for your customers, I think it's an unforgettable experience.
For sure. No, absolutely.
When you drive with your own Porsche,
right,
the first kilometer on a German road, it will be crazy.
Yeah.
Think about my first mile in Miami. It's unbelievable.
Yes.
You can rent a car, but it's not your car.
It's not yours.
Yeah.
When you drive with your car, you know everything around you. It's another life.
That's pretty fantastic.
All right.
I like it.
I'll tell Colin he should ship his car.
That's right. Do it.
Do that.
Do it.
Yeah. Ship it over, ship it back.
Tell your customers to do it.
Yeah.
Now, not tomorrow.
I know, right?
Right.
Yeah. I think that's what COVID really taught a lot of us is if there's something you want to do, just go do it because why not?
We left the US in November 21 and thought about maybe we come back for the next road trip, maybe 24, 25, 26, we have time. Yeah, when you think about you don't do it. And then comes 75th anniversary of Porsche Rennsport, and we said, yes, now, not tomorrow.
Right.
I think this is important.
Yeah.
The same thing when you will buy a Porsche, do it now and not tomorrow.
Yep. Exactly.
I should have taken that advice.
Yeah, you should have.
Yeah. God. Whoops.
You should.
Missed that first boat. So maybe there's another one. All right.
That's pretty good.
What do you think? You guys got anything you want to plug?
Yeah. Anything that you want to promote? Anything? Any business? Anything?
What's your Instagram handle? So if people want to follow you.
It's GT3 Twin.Tour on Instagram. I think Porsche Colorado post.
Yes.
Link. It's easy.
Yep. And it'll be
And
in
you
the,
find it
the
as
description.
and you can find us as a road trip driven by dreams or Porsche Experience Leipzig tour.
Excellent. Excellent.
Cool.
That's good.
Well, Porsche said always driven by dreams,
Yeah.
and we do it.
Yeah.
Driven by dreams.
Absolutely.
Road trip.
That's fantastic. And I just want to point out for the people that are listening that they're not able to watch this, Ortron's wearing our shirt.
Yeah.
Yes, this is a shirt from Colorado,
That's
from
awesome,
Colorado
right?
Springs.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
I love seeing that stuff around. That's
It
so
is kind of fun.
I got it last time when I was
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah,
Well,
that's awesome.
We'll
Yeah.
see what we can find. See what we can get out of the closet for you this time. Well, thank you both for coming.
Yes.
Look
Thank
forward
you.
to hanging out up on the hill.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's going to be a blast.
Absolutely.
And I don't know. What should we call it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, for the first Dibs podcast, I'm John.
I'm Justin.
I'm Christian from Leipzig.
and I'm Ortron.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.